go ahead and get started. And I don't know, yesterday was kind of a hot mess, so in case you didn't get, the word of the week is breathe. So we're just going to breathe today a little bit. So find a nice, easy seat. If you want to sit up on a pillow or something, you can absolutely do that. If you want to sit up on a block, you can do that too. I'm noticing all this construction stuff around me here. So just find a nice, easy shape that you can hold on to. And then start to work into your breath, taking a nice big inhale. We're going to hold that inhale at the top of the inhale. So filling up into the whole torso, into the corners of the lungs and into the hip area. Feel like your whole torso becomes a big barrel-like feeling, and then hold that. And then exhale slowly. So constricting the back of the throat to slow down that breath, and then easing the entire breath from the nose. I know it's pollen season, so if you're congested, you can absolutely do this with your mouth instead. But if you can, try through the nose. And then go ahead and inhale, pausing at the top when you get there. And then exhale. We're going to add that same pause at the bottom. And keep going with this breath. Connecting with the breath to let everything else melt away. Pause at the top. Exhale everything out. Keep going in that pattern. Notice how instantly you start to feel at peace, you feel relaxed. Begin to feel like maybe you have a little bit more control over things. And then the things that were stressing you out start to disappear. We'll take just about 3 more rounds of breath, just like that. Notice how it shows up for you when you hold that breath, either at the top or the bottom of that breath. Notice how that feels for you. It can be a little unsettling sometimes, a little disconcerting. Just lean into it. Good. And then on this last exhale, let everything exhale out. Tuck your chin in towards your collarbone. Create that length in the back of the neck as you start to roll forward, creating that nice long stretch up the back of the body. So you want to make sure that your sit bones, your legs are really rooted into the mat, but you're folding forward over yourself. And it's more of a roll than a fold at this point. We're targeting the curves in the back. And then go ahead and inhale, lift. You can use your hands on the side of the mat to help you if you like. Lift the heart, open it up, and maybe let the head fall back if that feels good for you. Exhaling to round, create that little ball. And then inhale to lift. The name of the song that's playing right now is Stressed Out. Seems appropriate. Nice. And then on this one, let's keep that length in the spine. So you're lifting up through the torso. You have that length. Use your hands to help you and hinge forward this time. So no curve in the back. It's nice and flat as you start to fold forward over the legs. Elbows come down, fingertips on the mat, and then drop the head once you get to your lowest point. If you're really stretchy, you might bring the forehead all the way down to the mat, but most of us are going to be kind of somewhere in the middle there. Good, and then go ahead and press back up. One more time, opening the heart here. This time, if you like, you can interlace the fingers behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the heart that way. If you're not quite feeling it in your shoulders just yet, you don't have to do that. You can keep the hands on the mat and just lift up. If it feels good, let the head roll back. If not, don't. Good, and then go ahead and shake it out. Give the arms a little shake if you have that bind. Let's take some neck circles here. Start to open up systematically. So we'll bring the left ear to the left shoulder. You can use your left hand on top of the head, reach that right arm nice and long. If you want a deeper shoulder stretch, wrap the arm around behind the back and grab onto the waist. Nice. If you have that arm wrapped around the back, this time as we drop the head forward, so bring your chin to chest, head comes forward, maybe wrap the left arm around behind and grab onto opposite elbows, opposite wrists, or fingers, whatever you can kind of hold on to. And then move over towards the right. So right ear, right shoulder, and then go ahead and release the right hand to come on top of the head. Keep the left hand behind you. So I've noticed as my garden starts to blossom, I've become a contortionist, right? To get in and around and underneath the bigger plants. So the chance of injury is much higher these days than it used to be. And then go ahead and come back through center. And let's just let the hands come down wherever it feels good. Take a nice, easy side to side with the shoulder, or with the head looking over the right shoulder, looking over the left. So it's not the complicated stuff that gets you, right? It's the day-to-day movement that it's when you get hurt doing that stuff. Nice. Good. And then just take a few shoulder rolls, starting to work into that. All right, good. Let's go ahead and come to standing towards the top of your mat. We're going to flow a little bit, just kind of get the body moving a little bit. It feels sluggish outside and heavy. We'll start with a wide stance in a forward fold. So your feet are underneath your hips, maybe a little bit wider. Fingertips can be on the mat or maybe dangling if that feels good. Bend your knees deeply and just drape your body over your legs for a moment. And let the weight of the head and gravity kind of create that length in the back of the spine. Might rock a little bit side to side here. Good. And then go ahead and straighten the legs. Find a nice flat back. So fingertips come either to the mat or to your shins. And try not to, so if you're one of those people that can that are double jointed and you can hyperextend your knee, just be careful not to do that. You want to engage through the knees and lift the shoulders up so they're even with the hips. Beautiful. Exhale, melt down over the legs, keep them straight, and then inhale, lift all the way up. Take that nice big back bend at the top. You can press the hands together, push the hips forward, and enjoy that stretch. Sometimes that feels pretty good. And then let's melt all the way back down. We're going to step the right foot back into a nice low lunge. So the right knee comes back, both hands come to the left knee and sink down into the hips. Good. If that back toe curled under doesn't work for you, then you don't have to do that. My internet must be funky again. I have like a 5-second delay again. And then go ahead and slide back, peel the left toes off the mat and hinge forward. Take that nice stretch over the left leg. So Ardha Hanuman, half split. Good, let's roll forward. Put the right hand down on the mat underneath the shoulder, and let's take the left hand to the hip. Left hip. So make sure the knee is over the ankle, look up over the shoulder. So you're looking up straight towards the sky. If that doesn't work for your neck, you can look down to the floor. If you have some extra space here, you might reach the left arm open and step. So be careful not to spin that. So I know sometimes we spin that foot out, but we're keeping it snuggled right in today. A little bit different of a shape. Good. Both hands come down either side of that front foot. We're stepping forward. So lift the knee and then step right foot next to left, melt down over the legs. We'll do the same thing other side. Inhale, root to rise, scoop the arms all the way up. Press palms together at the top, enjoy that back bend. And then float down, forward fold. Take a half lift when you come to that in breath, and then step the left leg back. I step back and then squeegee my foot back as far as I can get so that I get a little bit deeper of a stretch through this back leg. Both hands come to the front knee, push down through the heel. You can even lift the toes off the mat to make sure that you're distributing your weight where you want it, and then sink down into this shape. So you should feel the back of the front leg, the front of the back leg, and maybe a little bit through the glutes. Beautiful. Push into the heel, find your way to half split Ardha Hanuman. Melt down over the legs. This is a great place for a block if you are really tight through the back body. Otherwise, you're going to bring nose towards your shin. Be careful not to, I just noticed I was doing it. So be careful not to lean way too far out to the left. You want to stay kind of centered here. And then roll forward, put that left foot on the, or left hand on the floor and bring your right hand to your hip first. So set it up first, knee over ankle, open up the shoulder. And then if you have the space, reach that right arm up. Zipper the legs together like they're scissors, pulling towards the midline. Beautiful. Both hands come down. Lift that left knee, step forward, forward fold at the top of your mat. Grab opposite elbows here if that feels good. Let the head dangle. Maybe rock a little side to side. Find a movement that feels intuitive here. So something that feels good. Release the hands, root to rise, sweep the arms all the way up. Beautiful. And then we're going to exhale. We're coming all the way down into tiny ball. So fingertips come to the mat, roll onto the balls of the feet or the toes, create that little ridge in the feet, and sit down onto the heels. And then wrap the arms. If you want a little bit more, you're going to wrap the arms around the shins. You can always use your fingers here. I tuck my head. So ideally you want to tuck your head. When I do it, you can't really hear me. So kind of hang out here in the middle. Good. Now using your hands to help you, slowly start to slide back and use your hands to come all the way down onto your back. We're going to open up the hips a little bit here. So draw your knees in towards the heart. Take a few rocks side to side. And then go ahead and place that left foot on the mat and hang on to the right knee. So let's take some circles here. If you have a lot of space, that left leg is going long, you're going to place your hand on your hip. If you're really tight this morning, that left foot is going to stay on the mat. And let's just take some circles through the hip, around, and then maybe back the other way. Good. And then cross that right ankle over the left knee and draw that knee in. Take that figure four stretch. So for me, I like to wrap my fingers around the shin, although you can certainly extend that leg up longer if that's where you are today. Whatever feels the best here. I like a little bit of movement, but that's because I think it's physically impossible for me to sit still. If you prefer stillness, then you go right ahead. And then from here, we're going into my absolute favorite twist. So your left foot comes down to the mat, push that right knee away, flex the right foot, and then bring that right foot to the floor, just about even with your hip. You can reach that right arm out long and grab onto that left ankle if you need a deeper twist. But if this is enough for you, then hang out here. You don't have to take that bind in the ankle. So you might really, really feel this. So whenever we hold stress in our body, it's usually in the hip area. It shows up as a tightness or a lot of tension, back pain. So if you take the time to stretch it out and relieve some of that physical stress, a lot of times you can let go of the emotional stress that goes with it. Let's go ahead and unravel this twist. Come back through center, gather both knees up into the heart space and take a little lower back massage here. A little to the right, a little to the left. And then we'll place that right foot on the mat and take those hip circles with the left leg. So I like to just hang onto the knee and guide it around a circle, but if you want to do a little bit less restorative and more muscle building, then you would just work that knee without the aid of the hand. Neither one is wrong. Good. Cross that left ankle over the right knee. Let's find our way into that figure 4. And whatever you did on the other side, you can mirror that here. Beautiful. Let's find that twist. So you're going to bring the right foot to the mat. The left heel, the left sole of the foot, is going to aim for the floor, just about even with the hip. Maybe grab onto that left ankle with your right hand, and then the left arm reaches out. So if you're really tight, the shoulder is going to stay up off the mat, and that's okay. You can prop it up with a pillow or a block, or you can just let gravity kind of pull you down. It's not wrong. Don't forget to work into a nice even breath here. So as long as your inhale is, the exhale should be at least as long as that inhale. Perfect. Let's unravel this twist. Come back, rock and roll a little bit, and then however you choose, you can rock and roll forward and back and come up. We're going into a tabletop shape, or you can come off to the side if rocking forward doesn't feel like what you want to do today. I'm going to walk myself back into my mat here. So taking a few rounds of cat-cow, the toes curled under though. So inhale, lift the heart, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, and then tuck the tailbone, round the back, and tuck the chin. So think about this movement starting from the tailbone. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the heart, head comes up last. And then tailbone, hollow out the belly, round to the back. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, round. Good, let's find our way to our neutral spine. Should be feeling nice and juicy here. We're gonna walk the knees back just behind the hips. So I want you in a little bit of a longer line here. And we're going to lower down all the way to the mat. The knees stay down, just lower down onto the mat here. Bringing the hands underneath you. I keep my toes curled under, but you can release those feet. It's just up to you, whatever feels more comfortable. Hands are right underneath the shoulders and you're on your fingertips. And then lift up the heart and the head and the shoulders, creating a little bit of a back bend here. So if you bring the soles or the tops of the feet down, you get a little bit more out of it. Otherwise, you're going to keep those toes curled under. And then lower down. We're going to do 3 of those little cobra rolls. Inhale to lift. If you're getting any kind of shoulder discomfort, you can move your hands out a little bit further. And then lower. And then the last one, lift. You can play around with wherever it feels best for the hands and the shoulders. I want to push the hips towards the mat. So the pelvis goes right into the mat there. Hopefully you have a nice squishy one. And then lower down, all the way down. Bring your left hand underneath your face and come all the way down onto the mat. Let the right hand just kind of fall next to you. Look over the right shoulder. So we warmed up into that back bend because we're going to take a little bit deeper of a back bend this morning. So to begin with, you can keep your hand where it is underneath your head. We're going to lift the right foot off the mat, bending at the knee, and then look back there and grab onto the right ankle and pull the heel towards your seat. So this would be level 1 with the forehead on the back of the hand, just kind of pulling that heel back towards you. If you have a little bit more room for a deeper back bend, you're going to come up onto that forearm and maybe flip the grip on that hand and pull that heel in a little bit closer, bending the elbow. This is a little bit more. That knee is in line with your hip. I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera angle. So wherever you're at, either on the outside of the ankle that's less on the shoulders, or the inside of the ankle that's more on the shoulders, or the top of the foot, which is very intense. So it's a back bend, it's a quad stretch. Back bends are great for energy. Don't forget to breathe here. It's the hardest part is breathing. And then go ahead and release that right foot down. Bring the right hand underneath the head and the left arm is coming down. You're just going to drop down, head is on the forearm. Take a moment here to reset from that back bend. We have a nice juicy forward fold coming after this. So keeping the head down, bend the left leg, grab onto the left ankle, toe, anywhere you can reach, pant leg. This is perhaps where you stay. If you want a little bit more, snuggle that elbow up underneath your chest a little bit more, and then find the bind that works for you. So depending on what you've got going on, right? So this grip with the hand on the outside of the ankle is kind of the least intense. On the inside of the ankle is more intense in the shoulder. And then grabbing onto the top of the foot and bending the elbow is kind of like the highest level, most intense. So find wherever you are today. Keep pushing down into that elbow so that you can enjoy that back bend. I know enjoy and back bend don't usually go together. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And then from here, we're going to release the left foot down. Bring both hands underneath you to help you up. Curl the toes under and sit back into a child's pose. Take your time getting there. Those back bends are intense, so walk your hands back. To start with, we're going to keep the toes curled under, and we're going to sit back. So push into the hands, and I'll really enjoy that stretch in the lower back and get into the toes here. We're not going to stay here for too long, just enough to stretch and open. Beautiful. Now rock forward, knees stay on the ground, release the toes, and open up the heart. Find that nice back bend. Should feel really nice, be a nice big back bend for you. Open up the heart, open up the front body. And then from here, toes stay on the mat, feet are nice and wide, knees come out, and sit back into your child's pose. So find your version of child's pose here. Whatever works for you. Maybe big toes touch, maybe the knees are closer together. I'm going to bring my hands to prayer over my head and then drop my head between my elbows and fold the elbows back, pointing towards the back of the room. We'll take about 6 or 7 rounds of breath here in this nice, gentle forward fold. This essentially shuts down any stress response. It triggers the adrenals that everything is okay and they can stop pumping out those stress hormones. And then go ahead and reach your arms forward when you come to that next exhale. And start to work yourself back up onto your feet. Doesn't matter where you are on your mat. Draw your knees together. If you don't like to sit here for a length of time on the legs, on the heels, you can absolutely move into more of a Sukhasana or easy pose. But this twist that we're going to do is going to be easier from here. So now that we did a lot of moving through the spine, we're going to reach the shoulders up, reach the crown of the head up, and then put the right hand on the right knee or left knee and reach the left fingers behind you. So this is probably enough. Again, you can wrap the arm around and look over the back shoulder. Nice. And then sweeping over to the other side. So the left hand comes to the right knee, and then either the right hand grabs onto the foot behind you, or maybe wraps around the back and look over the right shoulder. And go ahead and unwind, unravel, and then find your way all the way down onto your back. I can't believe we made it all the way here. This class goes so fast. And let's find our way down into the beginnings of our corpse, our Shavasana shape. Pull your knees into your chest, rock and roll a little side to side. Maybe stretch out those ankles after being on them. And then start to work your left leg down the mat nice and long, the right leg down the mat nice and long. Relax through the belly, let it be soft. Relax your shoulders and bring your hands either by your side on the mat Or you can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. So if you bring your hand and your heart to your belly and your heart, you're going to follow the pattern of the breath, just for about 5 or 6 rounds. And then you're going to let the arms fall to the side. So feeling the way the belly rises and the air flows from the bottom up. And then as you exhale, everything lowers. So feeling the ripple. And then letting your hands come to your side when you're ready. Just enjoying a little bit of space here. There's nothing else to worry about here. Feel all of the points that are pressing into the mat. Your heels, your calves, your hips, your shoulders, your head, elbows. Becoming more aware of your place on the mat. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Moving slowly towards one side or the other and pausing there. And then eventually working your way towards that seat that's going to serve you for your meditation practice today. Allowing your hands to eventually rest on your lap or on your knees. Sitting up nice and tall. So creating that posture of strength, right? That posture of confidence. Lifting the heart, shoulders back, chin slightly tucked. Contrary to popular opinion, keeping the chin out and up, lifting the nose, actually increases the fight or flight response. So you want to slightly tuck the chin and pull the head back a little bit. So bringing into your focus, into your mind's eye, I want you to think about the place that makes you the happiest. And it doesn't have to be a physical place, right? It can just be a feeling of a place, gathered around family and friends, or in the middle of a pile of puppies, whatever it is, wherever that place is that you feel the most alive, the most confident. I want you to bring yourself there, and I want you to sit there for about 5 or 6 rounds of breath. And just notice everything about that place. If it's a physical place, I want you to think about what exactly it is that makes that feel like your place. If it's more general, what is it about that characteristic that draws you? Notice how you feel in your heart space, in the chest. You feel light and open, maybe warm and fuzzy, right? Notice how the urge to smile, and it just lights you up. You can feel that smile all the way from the corners of your mouth up to the eyes and across the forehead. Notice how just thinking about that place or that characteristic, that person, whatever that happy place is for you, can make you feel instantly better. Now focus on how you physically feel in this moment. How are you feeling? Are you feeling tense, confident, happy? Now notice that you didn't have to actually move to that place unless you're already in it. You didn't have to actually be there to have this feeling. Science has proven time and again the power of thought to dictate emotions, right? So you always have the ability to feel this home place, this safe place. Let's just take the next several rounds of breath to enjoy being in this place. How many things can you notice about how you feel right here and right now? We're going to hold on to this feeling of being home and content and safe and all of those feelings. Hang on to those as we start to come back to our physical space, our place on the mat, our place in the room. Start to gently move the neck in a way that feels intuitive, feels juicy, feels good. So maybe a little side to side. And then lifting the crown of the head, starting to move about the shoulders, maybe taking some shoulder circles, maybe using the arms to enhance and deepen those shoulder stretches. And then gently, maybe bringing the left hand to the left side of you and reaching that right arm up and over. Take a nice big side lean. And then moving over towards the other side, the right hand comes down, the left hand comes up. As if you're waking up for the day, feeling out all of the areas of your body. And then bringing the hands around behind you, maybe opening the heart one more time, lifting that heart up, letting the head fall back. And then coming back to your seat. If you want to, you can switch the orientation of your legs so that you don't have to walk in circles for the rest of the day. Let your hands come back to your knees. And then as your eyes allow you, keep your eyes closed. Wow, easy for you to say. As your eyes are closed and your shoulders are soft, your jaw is soft, maybe asking yourself the question, what do I need in this moment? The answer may surprise you. Remembering that you have this feeling, you generated this feeling all on your own just by taking some breath and a little mental vacation to your happy place. So the next time you feel the rage boiling up, the stress bubbling over, remember that you know how to get back to this place. You just have to think about it. Bringing your hands to your heart, maybe bowing your head if you choose. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous rest of your day. I will see you ladies tomorrow. Namaste.